Welcome to Shaman Man, a channel for spiritual growth and personal development. We hope you find this video helpful, and if you do, please like, subscribe, and leave us a comment letting us know what you think. We're glad you're here. Be well.
Hey everyone, it's David
and Nancy,
and this is Shaman Man, a channel for spiritual growth and personal development. And it's important to create couple time, particularly when you have kids, particularly with how crazy things have been. And we're amazed at how many times we go out together at like a table or something, right? And everybody's like on their devices.
Yeah, no one's talking to each other. It's like, and whether they have kids or not, it's time. It's your time to connect with each other and talk about things. And I'm sure some of it is, representative of where they are in their relationship, and they may not want to talk to each other. But I think you get into these bad habits of pulling out your device or not really connecting or looking at each other or holding hands. And I know we found that having couple time together is so important. When our kids were really little, which they're not anymore, they're teenagers, but when they were really little, we had a set Saturday night date. And I really recommend that if you can't afford to have a babysitter and go out, maybe you could find a friend, watch your kids, or possibly you pay for a babysitter, but then you just pack a picnic and go someplace really pretty and sit and eat. It doesn't have to be expensive, but just having that time together, even if it's a couple hours every single week, it's so important for you to
stay engaged.
And to really know each other and not lose one another, because that can happen. I know a lot of people whose kids graduate from high school and they move on with their lives wherever they go, and they look at each other and go, I don't really know you anymore, and I don't know that I really like you anymore. And for us, we've really just tried to keep that connection so that we stay in tune with each other and really know one another. Stay engaged.
Absolutely. We've been together 24 years, and I think the reason being is, when you're growing, it's very easy to grow apart, right?
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
and I think having that time together where you could, I could say to Nance, here's what I'm experiencing, and she's my best friend, so I would get a perspective that I didn't have before, or I'd be able to share with her, here's something that's going on in this personal development issues or empath stuff. To be honest with you, hang on one second. I think
we got a helicopter going over us. We're like in the middle of the woods in this beautiful spot right by this cold creek, and we've got this helicopter.
Always located.
All right.
But
they're coming for us.
when you're an energy sensitive, when you're an empath, and we didn't know it, we didn't have a term for it. I thought I was broken, so I would talk to Nance about it. And she was so critical and saying to me, no, you're not broken, and helping me to figure out that when these kind of things happen, you seem to be more agitated, or or like, hey, here's what I'm thinking, do you think I ought to try this? And she would be like, yeah, that's a great idea, or no. None of those kind of my personal growth and her personal growth is so interwoven together in a lot of ways, because if we hadn't been close, then we wouldn't have trusted what each other had to say to each other. And
we never shut down communication, even during times when we didn't really understand what was happening. And I think that's really the critical element to any relationship. And so to us, having couple time keeps that communication
weekly
flowing.
I mean, we are like, it's like religious for us.
And now even more so, because now that we can leave our kids because they're much older, we go out all the time together and do all kinds of different things and experience things together, which is really amazing, because you can't really do that when your kids are small. Your time is limited and you get busy with everything. But I would say the communication part is so key, and so having that time together, put your phones away. I know you have kids or whatever. Put it on the table and maybe set a custom ringtone, or just only look at it if you feel like it's something important, but really connect with each other and really communicate. And even if that communication initially isn't so positive, it's important to break it down and to be there for each other, and to really share and be truthful.
And work through it, right?
Right, exactly.
There have been times, after 24 years, you can't always be super happy with each other, right? So, but again, it comes down to, she would say something and I could then take it on, and she gave me a little bit of time to process. So it wasn't like she was beating me up, but a lot of times she's right.
And recognizing trends
Yeah.
too, of like places we would go for couple time that would not be the best.
Oh, that's a great point.
And then after that saying, you know, it's really not the best couple time experience for us to go to a concert, because at the end of it, he's like, holy cow, like every cell in my being is vibrating.
Right.
So we found the right things, and there are some things that if I really love to go to a concert, I would do with our daughter or with a friend or something, because for him it's not enjoyable, and we recognize that. So we really want to find things that we love to do together, like being in nature
Yes.
and hiking and talking, or just sitting outside in a storm. Like we sit outside on our porch and watch the thunder and
snuggle.
listen to the thunder and watch the
Right.
lightning, right, and hear the rain. Like capturing
beautiful.
those moments
Yeah.
and getting out of your rut can really shift the energy and really help you to feel like you have good time together, and help you escape the sort of mundanity of
Yeah,
life.
right on.
Yeah, like try something different. Instead of watching a show at night, sit outside together and have a cup of tea or a glass of wine.
You know, that's
Talk.
a great last point too, which is, you know, being together is one thing, like sharing space, and there's a real value in that. But sharing space when you don't have other distractions, like a TV,
Right.
is really even more critical. So, you know, I would also ask you to maybe plan at least once a week or so to leave the TV off and just sit together. So even if you're reading a book together,
Right.
there's still more
Listening to
intimacy
music, cooking a
than
meal
that.
together.
Yeah, you know, I'm the sous chef, so I do what she tells me to chop.
He chops
Yeah.
my stuff and then I cook it.
Yeah, so, you know, little things like that. So I am helping her out so that she doesn't feel like, you know, this is her job, you know.
And I
then,
love having the company in the
Yeah.
kitchen, because I'm always cooking alone. And so when he started helping me, it was great, because we'd put on music and he'd do all the chopping, which I don't love as much, and then I would do all the cooking, and then we had this beautiful meal we created together
Plus, it
for our
creates.
whole family.
Plus, I got tired. It was so easy for her to make good dishes that I figured that if I chopped things unevenly, it would give her good practice to figure out how to make it
It's a
just as
test.
good. A test to figure out how to cook
See how good
everything.
of a cook I am.
Yeah, after everything's unchopped all unevenly.
Right.
But
But hopefully that's some good
Yeah.
suggestions for you to
Absolutely.
find time together as a couple, and don't be afraid to communicate even on the things that may not be as pleasant, because you have to work through that stuff.
Yes.
You know, sometimes fighting is good.
Yes.
It works through issues, you know, and touch is important.
Yes.
And, you know, hugging and kissing and talking and holding hands and finding things you do like to do together is so important, because David and I have different interests, but we know what our common interests are, and so we share those together. And it's okay for you to like different things. Just find a few things that you can share with one another, and you know,
save
keep
each other
things
for.
fun.
Yeah, and save
Right.
for each other, you know, and that's really important too. So,
right.
you know, look, life is tough, and you know, doing it by yourself is tough. But you know, when you have your best friend with you, life is just much better. And you
Someone
know,
to share the trip with.
yeah, right.
Share
it's
the
so,
journey.
It's so important. And so anyway, we hope this helps in some way. And until next time, be well.